Hi, this is Paul. I want to trade passer. I'm going to do another list. This is going to be my most disappointing movies of 2021. These are movies that I'm looking forward to, but of course they came out and then I saw them and I was disappointed in them. They weren't what I thought they would be. Okay, rather than just say the worst movies of 2020. And I think that's a better. I like saying that better. Okay, movies that disappointed me. I still have my best of list. Okay, which you can find, or my channel. But these are going to be in no particular order my most disappointing movies. Okay, the first movie, of course, is Coming to America 2, a sequel that nobody, I don't know who asked for it, but nevertheless, they made it. Okay, and yeah, it was a movie that didn't have to be made. I mean, I love Murphy as a talent, but this is a movie that definitely shouldn't have been made. It didn't have to be made. Okay, and the whole premise of it that that the character Prince had an affair and had another kid, which of course wasn't in the original movie. It was just a bunch of BS. It was a horrible rewrite to get that movie made. So again, just I think the best part of the movie, obviously, I think to me it was Wesley Snipes. I think Wesley Snipes was having a great time in this movie. You could just tell he was enjoying himself playing like a rival leader or another African country, and he was having a ball. You could tell he was having a ball. But overall, the movie just wasn't as funny. Okay, the Coming to America is just a classic. Okay, and you just can't repeat that. Okay, you really can't. And again, a sequel that made way too late and way too and definitely didn't have to be made. Okay, so next movie on my list is a movie, an Amazon movie called Without Remorse. This is Michael B. Jordan was in it. A good cast: Jodie Turner-Smith, Jamie Bell, and Guy Pearce. And this is one of those classic revenge thriller. A special ops guy, a bunch of guys get killed on his team, and then they kill his wife, and then he's trying to find out who killed him. There's this big conspiracy, and it's just, again, the writing was not up to par, especially for an actor of Michael B. Jordan's talent. I think the script was just average, and there's more like a setup for a continuing, series of movies. Okay, I think this was a Tom Clancy thing, Without Remorse. I think this is a Tom Clancy novel, I think, and I think they basically, this was like a setup, especially for the way it ended with him, with him seemingly going underground and then coming back, but seemingly like a setup for more movies, which I think they probably are going to make. But this first one was not it. Okay, it really wasn't to me. Okay, next movie on my list is Snake Eyes. Woo. Oh my God. I was a big fan of the character Snake Eyes in G.I. Joe, and we know that the character in is supposed to be a white guy, okay, that gets taken in, okay, takes a vow of silence and all that stuff, and he has the rivalry with Storm Shadow. Now, I don't mind that they wanted to change it around. They hired Henry Golden to be Snake Eyes in this. That part I didn't mind, even though a lot of people were pissed off about them changing, because that was the whole point, the major reason of the character. He was a white guy that got taken in, and he actually became really good, and Storm Shadow betrayed the master and all that stuff, and he took a vow of silence. Okay, and it was a really good, compelling story, and they changed it around, which I didn't mind that part, but the story itself, was just awful. I'm sorry, the rewrite was awful. Okay, and Henry Golden didn't put on the helmet, the whole thing with the helmet, and when you cast Henry Golden, I guess they weren't going to put that helmet on him. Okay, so that part I could accept, except the story was just very weak. Okay, just very, very weak. Okay, and it didn't live up to the hype, and it was a disappointment. Okay, to me, and and I know a lot of people that were big fans of Snake Eyes were saying, "See, we told you so." They changed it around, they effed it up, and I have to agree with them. They did that when they changed it around. They totally screwed the story up. Okay, next movie on my list is Space Jam: A New Legacy. Now, LeBron James to me he's definitely belongs on the Mount Rushmore of all-time great players. He's definitely on that Mount Rushmore of talent. He's that good to me, in my opinion, but he's not Michael Jordan. Okay, I'm sorry. Michael Jordan to me is the GOAT and always will be the GOAT. And nothing anybody will change my mind about this. And same thing with this movie. Uh, I saw LeBron James. He was in that movie uh, with what's the comedian? I can't remember her name now. Uh, but I'm sorry, LeBron James in this movie was. I mean, I'm sorry, he was just horrible. I'm sorry, he was. Uh, what you call it? The person that made the movie for me was Don Cheadle. He, of course, is a great actor, and he was the best part of this movie. Okay, Michael, basically LeBron trying to, you know, get his son. His son didn't want to. His son was into games. And he was trying to reconnect with his son and all this stuff. And even the Looney Tune characters weren't, you know, up to the task to me. It was just a disappointment as a movie. Okay, and yeah. So now, next movie on my list is Mortal Kombat. Ugh. Again, another movie that I was looking forward to, but it didn't live up to the hype. I think the movie that came back out in the 90s or whatever that was, the original one, that was better than this one. Okay? Just a disappointment in terms of story and action. Just didn't live up to the hype. Again, it really didn't. Okay? Now, next movie on my list is The Many Saints of Newark. This is supposed to be about the guy who raised Tony Soprano, right? Who made him what he was. But you get hardly any Tony Soprano in the movie, okay? Which is I said, what's the point of that, okay? If you're not gonna why say they kind of made that like the tagline of the movie? You want to see the man who raised Tony Soprano? It was basically his story, and his story wasn't that interesting, okay? I'll be perfectly honest with you, it wasn't that interesting, okay? And because I expected to see more of Tony Soprano in the movie, okay? And he wasn't he was barely in the movie. And I just disappointed. I mean, he had a great cast and everything else, but Ray Liotta, uh, what's her name, Vera Farmiga, she was in it as well. Just again a disappointment in the movie. Now I don't know if they're gonna make a sequel to it, and maybe that sequel will focus more on Tony himself. But this one didn't. It was like false advertising. They didn't tell you what was gonna happen. They didn't show you what was gonna happen, like him being influenced by his uncle. Okay, I didn't. So anyway, next movie on my list is Black Widow. Again, another movie with a weak story. Okay, the best part of this movie, of course, was Florence Pugh, who played Yelena, Natasha's sister. She was absolutely fantastic. She killed it in this movie. I absolutely loved that character, and I loved her in this, and I loved her in Hawkeye, the TV show, and hopefully they'll make a new Young Avengers movie, then she'll be in that. But I can't wait to see her because I thought she was absolutely killing it as Yelena. But the story itself with the Black Widow was such a disappointment. It wasn't, again, an afterthought. They should have made a Black Widow movie way back when. They waited way too long till after the character had died in basically an Endgame, and then they tried to go back and write the story when they should have just gave her solo movie back after the Avengers came out. Maybe even after the second movie came out, they should have gave her solo movie. And I think they waited too long, and then they had to kind of retrofit it to make up a story behind before Endgame and stuff. So which is a disappointment. But again, I don't blame that on Scarlett Johansson so much. I blame it on the weak script and Marvel waiting too long to make that solo movie. Again, but the best parts of it was Florence Pugh, who I loved as Yelena, and I can't wait to see her in more things. Anyway, next and last movie is The Matrix Resurrections, a sequel. Again, another sequel that nobody asked for. Okay, and again, I was looking forward to seeing it because I'm a big Matrix fan. But again, I didn't even remember, to be perfectly honest, how Morpheus died. Okay, and I didn't remember how The Matrix ended, which I should have probably went and watched that before I watched this movie. But again, this movie, again, was a sequel that we really didn't need. And again, I think, they should have just left those three movies as they are. And this movie, again, there was a few highlights in it, and get me wrong, I like Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss, who is Trinity. I love those characters, but this was a sequel that definitely didn't have to be made. Okay, just kind of an unnecessary sequel. And I heard now that they're not going to make another one. So thank God, because this one was just totally unnecessary. Nothing that we haven't seen before, basically, in this movie. So there was no real purpose to make it, to be honest. And it showed with the script and stuff, just totally unnecessary. Anyway, those are my, I guess, 9 most disappointing movies of 2021. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your most disappointing movies of 2021 are itself. feel free to leave comments down below and let me know what yours are. And also I have a link to my social media in the description box, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Also have a link to my other channel, Views and Opinions. Please check that out as well. Also have a link down below to my patron, and I want to say a special thank you to my patron. His name will appear in this video somewhere. I want to say thank you to him for supporting me and always having my back. And I also want to say my patrons only $5 a month. Tons of content on there, tons of unedited content on there. I have What If, WandaVision, Loki, Hawkeye. I have the Book of Boba Fett is going to be on there as well. I have I said WandaVision, Loki, right? I have Stargirl Season 1, Stargirl Season 2, The Mandalorian Season 2. I have Superman and Lois. I have all 4 parts of Zack Snyder's Justice League. The finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay, and much, much more. And I'm going to be doing Superman and Lois Season 2 when that starts on January 11th. So, again, link to the Patreon below. And, again, only $5 a month. Again, and please give this video a thumbs up. It helps the channel, and I truly appreciate it. And this is Paul saying so long, and take care.